Sharing the story of Crawford Lake, its deep Indigenous roots, and the way it can continue to teach us today was part of the celebration of National Indigenous Peoples Day over the weekend. Visitors were able to take in the stories of the longhouses and participate in making their own pottery known as pinch pots.
They uncovered a total of 11 longhouses, but as you can see, we have 3 reconstructed pieces today.
As the Indigenous Education Coordinator shared the history of this area with those who gathered in one of the longhouses, she also mentioned that discovery began a few hundred meters away and deep underwater within Crawford Lake, a lake which Indigenous oral history tells us has a spirit, a memory, and is a storyteller. In the 1970s, scientists began to uncover that story by finding evidence of corn pollen in the sediment. That led them to believe there had been a community nearby. The research was expanded and evidence of longhouses was uncovered.
A lot of longhouses, they're made out of cedar tree posts. It's a very hardy tree, it lasts a very long time, but it also leaves a very distinct stain behind in the ground. So when archaeologists are out excavating, they find those stains, and honestly it looks like a little connect the dot map that they're recreating of outlining where a longhouse once stood. So that's the kind of knowledge that we find today.
It shares a history dating back to between the 12th and 15th century, Duckstader says, when the first Indigenous inhabitants called this land home. In total, the area has been occupied 2 to 3 times. The reconstructed longhouses seen today are built on knowledge from about 600 years ago, when it's believed the Wendat lived here.
I can make one for you.
Good job.
Creating pinch pots was another activity available to visitors learning more about Indigenous history. Traditionally, it would have been a task that children would learn from their mothers, Duckstader shared, although larger pots were usually made by skilled adults. The term indicates the method in which the clay was formed into a pot. Once complete, they could be any size and used for any purpose.
And then you can use them as cooking vessels, as storage containers, water vessels as well, traveling from site to site if you want to bring water with you.
For people from both near and far, this was an opportunity to learn a little more about Indigenous ways of life and feel a little more connected to the history of this land.
Absolutely important. It's part of our heritage, right? Yeah, especially us not coming from here and learning the past. It's, yeah, a great experience.
I think that's awesome that people are wanting to learn more. I find it really interesting myself whenever I come to a country that I find out has this sort of Indigenous culture, you know. And so I would love to keep learning more about it. And I think it's really good that people are taking a big interest in it nowadays. So hopefully that continues to grow as well. I think it's really important for people to be open to all these things.
And the Indigenous Education Coordinator, able to share the story of the area, feels that connection between communities growing.
It's really powerful because I know when I went to school 20 so years ago, this was never part of my curriculum, and the fact that we have over 30,000 children coming to Crawford Lake and other places that have similarities to what we have, it's just really heartwarming to know that they're getting this education and these hands-on experiences, and they're able to connect to the past in a more interactive way.
Jason Trout for Halton News at Crawford Lake.